I don't remember a lot about Cuba. I was about 5 years old when I left, so I don't have a lot of memories from that time. But I do have memories of going back to see my mother and my brothers who still live in the island. There's a very long process that you have to go through to leave the island. Not everyone can just leave. The plan was that my mother would live with us. However, her papers got a little messed up, and my father and I had to leave before her. And long story short, her papers never got fixed, so she was not able to follow us to Spain. There are ways to keep in contact with people that live in the island when you're living on the outside. Mostly the main form of communication is email because they don't have access to their internet. Adjusting to America at first was very difficult. I mean, you come to a country when you're 13 years old, you're an eighth grader, without knowing the language. It's very tough. I just was watching TV in English the whole summer, and the next school year when I went back to school, first day it was like I had known English for many, many years. Going through high school, I realized the kind of life I was living with my dad, not making as much money as he would have liked, and the kind of life my mom was living back in Cuba. So I decided that I had to do something to better myself and better my family. So that's when I made the decision that college was the right option for me. So growing up, I grew up in a very underserved communities where not a lot of healthcare was available. So I always knew that I wanted to do something in the healthcare field. So I came to the University of Florida and I just fell in love with dentistry. I'm in my pre-dental studies here at the University of Florida as a microbiology major. Hopefully we'll be starting dental school in the near future. I want to be as successful as I can to provide for my family and make my mom and my father proud. So they know that the sacrifices they have made throughout their lives for me to have a better life were not made in vain.